Hi, welcome to day 13. This will be our second yin practice. In this practice, we'll be going a little bit deeper into some postures. Keep in mind that if it feels really intense, back out. It's always okay to come out. Listen to your body. I remember when I first started practicing yin, screaming inside my head and thinking, when is this pose going to end? I don't want you to feel that way. We want to work to our edge, but it needs to be manageable. If something becomes too intense, back out. We're going to start out in a tabletop position, finding a little bit of movement with some cat-cow to begin. All right, to begin in a tabletop position, inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest. Exhale, round your spine. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest. Exhale, round your spine. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest. Exhale, round your spine. Good to just find some movement in the body, maybe even shifting back and forth from side to side. And then go ahead and make your way into a seated position with your legs out long in front of you on the mat. So, in many forms of yoga, we would call this pose a forward fold, or the Sanskrit term for it would be Paschimottanasana. But in yin, we have some different terms for poses, and this is known as the caterpillar. Instead of really working to keep the spine straight, like we would in Paschimottanasana, in caterpillar, we're going to round the spine. So go ahead and come into a rounded posture and stop wherever your body says to stop. We're going to hang out here in our caterpillar for a little while. Once you're here, see if you can release into the posture. Something that you may experience while you stay in this posture is a drop. You work to your edge, and then you might suddenly feel your body open and expand, and you might come a little bit deeper and a little bit further into a pose. That's part of the process, totally normal. And if you don't experience that, that's also totally fine. When coming out of a yin posture that you've been holding for a while, it's important just to come out slowly. Start to gently move your hands back, lifting yourself back up to a seated position slowly. Yin postures can be quite intense, and it's good to give the body some recovery time. Go ahead and make your way back into your tabletop position. Maybe swaying from side to side, finding a little bit of movement before we make our way into our next static holding posture. This one's going to be our back bend. So when we walk our hands out long, we come into a puppy stretch. To come into melting heart, go ahead and drop your chest down towards the floor. Your chest might not reach the floor, and that's totally fine. Start to settle into your melting heart. And if it's too intense, back up. But in this posture, go ahead and let your heart sink down towards the mat. Start to slowly bring yourself back out of your melting heart. Keep your knees together. I'm going to briefly come into a child's pose. Keep your knees together, and this time bring your arms out alongside your torso, letting your head come all the way down to the mat, rounding the spine. And then go ahead and bring your arms out long in front of you and walk both arms over towards the left side. Feeling into your right side body. Start to settle in and stay here, releasing into this pose. If it's more comfortable, you can take your knees out and come into a wide leg child's pose, making more room for your torso between your hips. Totally up to you. Walk your hands back through center and take them over towards the right side, feeling into your left side body. Your body just release into the pose. Really feeling into your lateral stretch. Start to bring your hands back to center. Slowly lift yourself up into a tabletop position. Tuck under both sets of toes and lift your hips, coming to find downward facing dog. Paddle through your legs, maybe even letting your hips get in on some of this action. Just finding some movement. Go ahead and bring your right leg forward. Rather than coming as deep as you can for a pigeon, go ahead and leave your knee bent. Your leg, your toes coming back towards your torso is a better way to put it. Come into a variation of pigeon. In yin, instead of it being pigeon, we call it the swan. We're going to come into a sleeping swan. So once you've arranged your weight evenly between both hips, go ahead and bring your arms forward. You can make a little pillow underneath your forehead with both hands and start to settle into your sleeping swan. Slowly make your way back up into a seated position. Tuck under your left toes. Lift yourself back into downward facing dog. Again, looking to find some movement. And this time, as you look forward towards your hands, bring your left leg forward, keeping your toes back more towards your torso than out to the side for our swan. Go ahead and distribute your weight evenly between both hips. And then start to bring yourself forward. You can make a little pillow underneath your forehead with both hands if that feels good. Start to settle in for your sleeping swan. Very slowly, start to lift yourself back up into a seated position. Tuck under your right toes. Bring yourself back to downward facing dog. Finding some movement. And come down onto your knees. We're going to come into a twist called cat's tail. Go ahead and lie down on your back. To come into our cat's tail twist, bend your right knee, bringing your right foot behind you so that you can hold onto it with your left foot. Left leg comes across your body and hold onto it with your right hand. Your leg might want to come out longer, and that's totally fine. Let your left foot stop where it's most comfortable and hold on to your right foot with your left hand, and then take your gaze over towards the left for cat's tail. Slowly make your way out of your cat's tail, and let's do it on the other side. This time bend your left knee, bringing your left foot back behind until you can hold onto it with your right hand. Right leg comes across your body, hold onto your leg with your left hand, and this time take your gaze over towards the right side. then make your way out of your cat's tail. Straighten yourself out on the mat. Legs come out long, palms facing up towards the sky. Close your eyes. Soften your face. Let everything in your body soften and relax. This is where I leave you today, my yoga